G'day YouTube. Time for another build rundown. One of our most highly anticipated builds to date. This thing got let slip in one of our previous videos and we had a heap of comments about it. So I'm happy that we can finally unveil it and show you guys the custom work that we've done to this 2015 Zero SR. As soon as I saw this Zero SR, it screamed to me street tracker, so that's exactly what we did. Some of the major mods that I'll run you through include a spoke wheel conversion and this complete custom body kit. So I'll start with you on the tail and run you through how we've done it. So with the strange sort of space frame that these things run, it actually makes it quite difficult to modify. So what we had to do was shape up a custom fiberglass tailpiece with some nice sharp lines that enables a nice flat seat. We had to trim the frame slightly, but it still allowed us to have all the mounting gear, especially for this heat sink under here, which is a part of your engine control module. So all of this started with stripping the bike completely of any of its bodywork and starting with a bunch of foam placed on top. Then I started carving and shaping it out as we went along. The shape that we've landed with also allowed us to fabricate an undertail plate that houses the brake lights and indicators under here. We've mounted the tail tidy with some stainless steel bar work up to some factory mounts that were left on the stock frame. So with the tank, we've kept it nice and square and sharp, sort of mimicking the tail. But because you don't have to store any fuel on these things, it's given us a lot of room for storage under here. So when you're riding around, you stash your charge cable in here. It enables you to charge from any wall outlet on the run. So we've custom made this aluminium lid, nice little hinge there, lock up. You could fit a 6-pack in there as well, just saying. And that takes us onto the handlebar section. So all of this has been left predominantly stock. We didn't want to go too heavy in diving into changing the electrics and the way that this thing actually functioned, focusing instead on making it look as good as we could. So we've hit it with a set of Pro Taper contour handlebars, moves your hands forward a little bit, makes it feel a little bit more racy. That allowed us to put a nice little headlight plate here, move the speedometer back and have it in a really good spot of view as well. Got some nice tidy bar end mirrors there, again keeping it really simple. The front end, we've done a aluminium front fender, kept it super short using our DIY fender kit, mounting it up onto the factory mounts here. The brakes have been done both front and rear with a set of Moto Master flamed rotors. The spoked wheel conversion, Zero actually supply one of these themselves, but we couldn't get a hold of it in Australia, especially for this particular model. So what I did was measure out the hubs that I had and match them closely. So the running gear on this thing is actually off a KTM Super Motard. We've got the front fit up relatively easily, but we had to do a little bit of work on the back that I'll run you through now. So with the rear wheel, we've got an XL set of rims and Han hubs, so the setup is super light, and we also went for a chain conversion. Now before we did this, we had a bunch of experts telling us that it was going to be super noisy and not really worth it, but after doing a bunch of Ks on this thing, I can say, from my opinion, the noise isn't that bad. You still hear the electric engine whining, but that's just part of the game. The chain doesn't make hardly any noise, so I'm glad we went that direction. What we did was get a custom-made sprocket. These things have to be huge because of the way that an electric motor is geared. We've had to make custom spacers, offset the sprocket slightly to line up with the standard spigot on the front end and get a custom front sprocket made. And then on the brake side, it was just a matter of finding the right rotor to fit the standard brake size for the Zero's rear and spacing the caliper to suit. So a lot of time and finicky measuring work, but not hard by any measure. So as with most electric bikes, the ride experience on this thing compared to a normal petrol powered bike is pretty intensely different. The speed and pickup on this bike is insane. Setting it in custom mode, it allows you to connect Bluetooth to your phone and adjust the settings that you have to ride on this thing, which makes it really fun. You can adjust your regen and power output and the torque that's available at any given time, which, you know, in the hills when you can stop by, adjust it, wind everything way up so you can have a lot of fun is a really, really cool feature on this thing. So we've had a bunch of our mates come past and put them on this bike for a little test ride, and the results have always been astoundingly positive. Everyone's in love with this thing. So I'm about to chuck a GoPro on. We'll go for a little test ride through some mountain roads and I'll show you just what they're talking about. But before I do that, a quick reminder to jump onto our new Grid Cycles YouTube channel for a bunch more e-bike content. Generally, this is the part where your favourite YouTuber is going to ask you to subscribe to their Patreon. Luckily for you, we're not YouTubers. We're bike builders and parts makers. So if you like the content we create and the bikes we build, or you hate both of those things and just want to grab some gear for your next project, make sure you show your support, jump on our online store and give your bike that purpose-built moto touch. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.